Okay, so I mailed you your list last time. You had a lot of wins last time.
Yeah.
And so what kind of wins did you have this time?
So it's a mix. I feel like I didn't do as much as I could have, but also when I've talked to people, they're like, you did quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get through the first 27 chapters like I had wanted to in the 2 weeks,
Okay.
but I did remove passive voice from over 20,000 words. So
Okay.
like I feel like that's a big section.
Uh-huh.
But in my brain, I'm like, but that's not even like the first act of the book. So I wanted to get through the first act, which is
Uh-huh.
up to chapter 27. And I
Okay.
did rewrite about 7 chapters
Okay.
in that section to, because I remember I had to fix the beginning. So I fixed the beginning and then I had to just bridge it. So I
Uh-huh.
needed to have like 2 little chapters to bridge into that. So I had to like fix a few things.
Okay.
And now it's like going. And then I hit the problem chapters.
Oh.
And
And
and this,
what's the problem chapters? Did you know about the problem chapters before?
oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah.
I don't think they were in the original like task list. That
No. These are just they're 2 chapters I absolutely hate.
okay.
It's been through 4 edits for myself, and each time I'm like, you're just going to cut these chapters. I've rewritten these chapters, you name it, and going through it on to like remove passive voice, it's
Uh-huh.
about 90% of the chapter is straight passive.
And But but is that okay for your book? Because we talked about how that, in dialogue, that's fine. And for
It's not
some,
even dialogue like that. It's literally 2 info dump chapters. And there's very small little pieces in it that matter to the book,
uh-huh.
but there's all of this stuff around it. So I've actually have taken a look at these 2 chapters again, and I'm thinking of cutting them completely and doing
Okay.
a small little rewrite of here's the important little pieces. Hopefully that bridges it.
So what's happening in these two chapters? Why are you hating them? I mean, are you hating it because it's all passive voice, you said?
No, I've always hated these chapters. Like even when I wrote the chapters, I hated them.
So what do you dislike about them?
So it's very the the villain is stupid in this zone, and he's doing like villain things because he's villain. There's no reason for it. And the more like I've learned about writing, the more and more these 2 chapters are absolutely stupid. I know. So like he's breaking things just because he could. And it's like, oh no, shit, I have to go around fixing this stuff, like the main character, because you're breaking this stuff. But I'm a woman and you're a guy and I can't do anything about it because our society says it. And I'm like, why would he be going around breaking this shit? Like, it's not his factory. Why would he be touching it? And
Is
each
it
time,
is does it show his character though? Is it character development for the villain?
yeah, it kind of is, which is why I've kept it so much.
Is
But
there a
it
different
just,
way to show his character?
and that's what I'm thinking of trying to do with this round is to be, it just doesn't make sense to go around and mess with something in a factory that's not your own.
Is he mad?
No, he's just doing it because he could, kind of a thing. So it's
So
it's
it's a
literally like one of those I'm the big villain and I'm gonna do something, and then everybody's like, oh no, she needs to save it. But it's written so bad.
so so you're saying if you took out the chapter, the rest of the story would still make sense.
No, and that's the worst part. So I
So
need there's just a
why do
few
you need
small
him to
things.
mess up the factory?
So I need something to happen where she deliberately goes against his wishes because he confronts her about it and puts her in her place. But in doing so, he also mentions once again, like his connection to the bigger plot. Because he's like the bad guy for the beginning of the book. And you see him trickle in and out throughout. And I do need the scene because like he's holding her over a railing pretty much. And he's like, I have no problem dropping you. And that scene gets reversed later on with her, where she gets to do that exact moment to him, where she's like, yeah, now our roles are reversed.
So when he says, I have no problem dropping you, why does he choose not to?
She grips onto him. She's like, if I'm going, I'm taking you with me.
So he just says, okay, and that's it.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. It was just such a dumb section, but later on it's so much better
So
when the
he
role is
needs,
reversed.
she needs something over him then, or no, he needs, he needs to need her for something to leave her alive. She's, he wants her to do something for him, or she has something that he wants.
So for him, because the book is about a sex slave ring,
Okay.
um, she was technically brought up very independent, modern, like a modern woman,
Mm-hmm.
so that she would cost more on the market because it's more fun to break a woman who is stronger.
Okay.
So for him, it's kind of fun to toy with her. And he's looking forward to the breaking part because he hasn't officially bought her,
Okay.
but he's in the
Then,
process of
so
buying.
then that's why he's letting her live then and not dropping her
Yeah.
over the railing because he's just cat and
But she
mousing.
wouldn't know that.
That's fine.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there's no problem with I don't see. I mean, in the limited knowledge I have of your of your plot and the rest of the stuff that's happening around it, that doesn't sound like it would be like that would be enough motivation for him to keep her
Okay.
alive. Because as long as you put that in there, for the reader, this
Hmm.
internal like, ooh, this is getting fun, like show him getting off on it, um, even intellectually, whatever, and leaving her alive and her fear and thinking that, and maybe she can even wonder later, after she's safe,
Hmm.
did he let me go? And, maybe that can just be something she's thinking about later. Um, but as far as the confrontation part, so you need him to do something that she confronts him for, or is it the opposite?
So what I have him doing is he's going around and like messing with like an engine piece for
Mm-hmm.
the steampunk factory, and it lands up messing up a section that's like dangerous. It like won't allow the steam to exit a spot, and if steam builds inside a pot pipes, it goes boom.
Right. And it's her factory or
So she's the daughter, like she would inherit this factory,
okay.
so she's invested in it, she
Okay.
loves the factory. And when he breaks this piece, she pretty much pushes him off to the side and starts working on it until other people could get there.
Okay.
And he didn't like the confrontation of her doing that in
Or
front
did
of
he didn't like
other men.
he didn't like her dismissal of him.
Oh yeah, no, she's been dismissing him this entire time. Like
I
he
know,
goes,
but in front of people though.
oh yeah.
Like that demeans him in their eyes. And
Mhm.
that's what rankles him.
Yeah, that's what definitely triggers the when she's finally able to step back, he's grabbed her at that point.
Okay.
And like she does the whole tries to push off again, but we're next to a railing, so he does like the whole hair movie scene in my
Right.
head where he's like tipping her back, and she's
Okay.
like, I'm fine, I'll take
So
you with me.
so are you saying that the breaking the engine part is the part that you don't like because you think it's just like
Yeah.
there's no motivation?
Yes.
But there is motivation. If he's just toying with her because he wants to like rile her up and like take her to the brink and then toy with her. Like that's the whole thing. I mean, that's what you said.
So
He-
that makes more sense when you say it like that, because I guess from this whole point of view, you're mostly following her and you don't see, and I haven't head jumped into him at all during that section. And maybe that's what I need to do. And it's where,
maybe you can write that chapter from his point of view instead. And that would make sense.
Mhm.
I don't know. Does he have any POV chapters at all? Or is it
So
just Theo and
I
Ellie?
don't do it by chapters. I am omniscient,
Okay.
so I go in and out of people, which
Oh, I hate that so much.
I
I'm sure
know,
you do
but I love it.
wonderfully, but okay. So, well, then that sounds like an easy fix. Just put
Yeah.
a couple of
And I think it really is that I
paragraphs.
need him to be testing her limits of patience because
Uh-huh.
he's doing it. And I think that works. That might work.
Okay. All right,
Where
cool.
he's testing pieces and eventually he's like, "Oh, so you're not going to like pay attention? Well, then I touch this. And clearly this is important, so you're paying attention."
Okay.
Oh, this
Yay.
works.
All right, awesome. Okay, cool. So the problem chapters, that will just be I'm gonna write down bullet point. Write, or I'll say,
Fix. Just fix.
sorry, my bullet point thingy just got all crazy. Okay. Um,
So it's
add
chapter 10 and
in
11 are the two that I need to.
10 and 11.
Mhm. Because like I said, she reverses that on him later, where she's like, "Well, it's no problem for me to get rid of you because instead of buying her, he bought somebody else who was close to her." And she's like, "Well, you pretty much destroyed her."
Hmm. So
So
add in villain, billion, villain. I never can spell
I
villain.
know. I'm not the
Villain.
only one. Cool.
Add in villains POV to chapters 10 and 11,
Yeah.
or whenever, wherever. And then, yeah, probably that will
Yeah, and then
fix.
it's from there, the whole story is completely back on track again.
Okay, cool.
And
Well,
then I'm
that
just,
sounds like a fairly easy fix. You don't have to change
oh,
anything. You're just letting the reader know what his frame of mind is, like what his motivation is and why he's trying to break this piece. He's just taunting her and trying to piss her off.
yeah, that actually works a lot better than, because right now she's just, it's literally so much info dump. She's taking them on a tour through the factory, explaining the history of the factories. Look at all of this factory stuff around us.
And she's proud.
Yeah, that, and she just doesn't want him anywhere near her, so she
Hmm.
keeps like the tour going for
Hmm.
longer. And like she does keep mentioning, she's like, "Oh, my factory, so when
Hmm.
I'm married, who knows, my husband might not know how to run this, so I will have to." And he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna be your husband because we were just engaged."
All right. So any other wins you want to share?
um I wrote 2 articles for the paper that I had that were due in like 3 days time of each other, so I had very short amount to write those.
Uh-huh.
I did
Cool.
that. Another podcast episode dropped today.
Nice.
Yeah. And we've had a lot of interviews set up as I'm looking over at my calendar. So that's been fun. And I've been like meeting new people through like interviewing a whole bunch of people. So that's really been cool.
Meeting new people during podcast interviews.
Oh, and I talked to Roland. Yeah, Roland. And I don't remember if you had also suggested it, but he just said, well, if you do it by chapter, start at the bottom of the chapter and
Oh,
go all the
yeah,
way
yeah.
up.
Uh-huh.
That has been amazing. That has been very, very good for me. And it's
Cool.
much faster to go through some of those chapters because as soon as like I rewrote one, I went, stuck it in the thing and started right up from the bottom. And I could have them done within about 20 minutes, like a chapter.
Sweet.
So
Nice.
I was like, that's really cool because I'm not going through and reading and being like, I could correct this whole sentence, make it
Yeah.
pretty. It's just going backwards has been so much better because it's just I get to that sentence and I'm like, cool, okay, next sentence.
Any other wins?
No,
Okay.
I think that's it.
So, for the task list, the fix chapter 2 and check chapter 3. So you did that already.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm now on chapter 10.
And then, remove the dead character chapter from Theo.
No, I haven't done the ending of the book. I'm going to go through trying to finish that first section so I can send it off to the editors.
Okay. And that's later.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
his is his ending. So that's like literally third act.
You're removing it? Remove
Yeah.
Theo's ending?
No, no, no. I just have to remove that character still.
Remove dead character
Yes.
from Theo's ending.
Yes.
All right. And then the passive report with autocrit, doing the first third and then sending it to Aaron. So that you're partway through, or you haven't done the
I'm
report at all?
partway through.
Okay.
So I'm up to like chapter 10 of it. I have
And 27 makes it a third? Okay.
yes.
So you're halfway done-ish.
Yeah, and I did talk to him. I was like, "Hey, do you want me to just send you the first 10 chapters because it's already 20,000 words?"
Uh-huh.
And the whole section there comes to about 70,000. So I'm like, "Do you want me to start?" And he's like, "No, it's okay. I'll just wait till you finish it up." So I'm gonna try, especially now that I'm like feeling good about those two chapters
Uh-huh.
after we chatted. I'm gonna try to have it finished by next week to send it to him.
Okay. So finish first, third, and send to Aaron.
Mhm.
Okay. And then manuscript into Aaron at the beginning of August for diagnostic and line edit pass it. And then you had a couple of bonus tasks that you were thinking of. Did you set up the landing page on MailChimp to collect the advanced reader email addresses?
Not yet.
Okay. They were just
I-
bonus tasks. So
okay.
what about brainstorming the Instagram street team stuff? Did you think about that at all?
The Instagram what?
Street team?
Oh, so yeah, I've been thinking on it. I plan because I know it's August. September, I want to start doing um posts. So I like to try to get like a whole month in a Google Doc and then be like, here's what you'll post for the month. Here are all the pictures, all of the hashtags, you name it. And I'm still waiting. I'm supposed to find out today or tomorrow what the first sketch of the cover is going to look like.
Okay.
And then if we really like how that's going, they're also making me Instagram posts and stuff like that where
Okay.
I can start having those pictures ready
Okay.
to pull people in and get a street team going.
Okay. So you said so a proof is due to you
Yes.
from the cover designer.
Yep. So they'll have the
In
first design for me.
yay. And in 2 days, you said?
Yeah, they said either today or tomorrow at some point.
Okay.
They started it yesterday, and I was like, "Well, I'm not publishing till December, so like, if you need a little bit of time, that's fine."
Yeah.
So
Okay.
once we figure that out, they're going to also help me make like bookmarks or posters and things that I can do with my street team. So when they sign up, I can be like, "Here are your goodies for helping me out," and stuff like that.
Okay. So you don't have to really write the posts. Well, you have to write the posts, but the images are going to be done for you.
Yes.
Okay. And so you want to come up with a Google Doc of all of the posts for September.
Yeah. So like
Okay.
I'll try to go through And this way have them like, hey, Monday is your meme day, and just have it set. So this way it'll be faster for me to just copy, paste, have the picture ready, send, than trying to come up with content in the middle of the day.
Yeah, for sure. So write Google Doc for street team, and then you can add photos later.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we only have one more session in 2 weeks. So in the next 2 weeks, you are going to add the villain's POV to chapters 10 and 11,
Mhm.
remove the dead character thing from Theo's ending,
Yes.
and well, I guess not in this order, but finish the first third and send it to Aaron. So I guess that would be the second thing, and then the third thing would be
Yeah.
after it's at Aaron's, then you can remove that Theo thing.
Yes. 'Cause then I feel
Um,
like I could breathe for a moment
yeah, and
and
then
be like, oh, okay, cool. I can do this while he's going through, the first 60,000 words.
so yeah, so then finish or
Start his ending or
start.
his
Well,
ending.
how do I want to word this in a not a constructive way, but a like a inspiring way, so it doesn't feel like I need it to be a smaller step, because what I wanted to say was after you sent it to Aaron, then you would start working on the rest of it, the passive voice and the rest. But that's not going to be, well, can you do that in 2 weeks? I don't know. You said that each chapter is like 20 minutes, and so
Yeah, so it's getting faster and faster. And I do know that, so the chapters I rewrote were very similar to the end chapters, and they were very quick to go through.
okay,
So as I go further into the book, it
it's
becomes
easier.
easier and easier. So I think I could get what I consider like the second act to be done,
Okay. So
hopefully. Or at least get it started. Start the second half.
fix passive voice in Act 2.
Yes, thank you. That's the way to go. Because Act 3 is pretty much your, I guess it's not really quite the climax yet, but it's you break up, you go up to the point where they split, and there's the climax for both.
Okay. So since we know each other through in Slack and in another community, um, let's continue like direct messaging, and I can send you little publishing tasks as you need them.
That'd be cool.
Um, so I have in the email I sent you, there's the tasks for later, and those all most of them, each bullet point can be broken down into steps also. For instance, create an author page on your website to collect emails. That one actually, I mean, you can break it down into micro steps, but that is fairly self-explanatory. You just
Mhm.
add a page on the website that you have already with the words. So just writing the page and then adding it, like there isn't much. And because you already, oh, you said you hadn't created the landing page on MailChimp yet. So let's add,
Not yet. Yeah, because
that's going to be your next big thing, I think.
I
Bonus.
do have a friend. We're trying to set up a time because she does email, or she doesn't do email. She does website design.
Uh-huh.
She's going to sit down and we were going to try to hash out what my author website would look like. So
Okay.
have
But
to
in
figure
the,
out her time. But I could just set up a page too. I do
well,
have one website.
the main issue is collecting email addresses for those advanced readers who will
Mhm.
then, I mean, that's going to be your street team. That's going to be anybody that has been waiting for this book to come out. You need to get all of them on that email list so that when it does drop, you can email everybody and say, okay, you can go get it. And that is just a landing page on MailChimp. You can create that and then embed that code onto a page in your website. Um, so maybe you could create a book tab on your services page
Mhm.
just in the time, just for the moment until later, because that will be the place where you can direct people to go sign up. Um, on the other hand, maybe this would be, tell me if this feels easier for you and more, like, oh, that sounds easy. Let's do that instead. I don't know if this would be easier for you, but if you create that landing page on MailChimp, then it gives you a link. You can have a link to that page, or you have the embed code that you can put on a website page. So with that link, you can email all of the people that you know already individually or whatever, either through MailChimp or just through Google Mail or whatever, and ask them, include the link in the email and say, if you want to be on my street team, if you want to be um, on the advanced reader, whatever, if you want to be notified when the thing comes out, click on this link and sign up for my mailing list. And then you don't have to have a website at all. You don't have to have a page on your website, nothing, until, that would just give them the link to go there, and you'd be collecting email addresses. Does that sound
That
easier
sounds
for you right now? So
Yeah, I think so.
you'd still need to make the landing page for them
Mhm.
to go to through MailChimp, but then you would just have a link that you could, you know what? You could even put that in your email signature, the link, so that anytime you send an email to anybody, then they can just click on that. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, that does.
I think I would still send out for my first book. I emailed absolutely everybody that I knew or even like remotely knew, like a couple of steps away knew, like my kids' friends, parents that I saw once or twice a week when I picked them up from school, like that far removed. And so I emailed absolutely everybody I could possibly think of and just said, "Hey, I'm about ready to publish this book. If you're interested, here's the book description. If this sounds like something that you're interested in, I'm really excited that it's finally coming. It's my first book. Yay. And if you want to know when it finally publishes, click this link and just join my mailing list, and then I'll let you know." And that became the first part of my mailing list. And then from the mailing list, then I could keep them abreast of like, okay, it's going to be here in 2 weeks. If you are interested in being an advanced reader, let me know. I'll get you a copy or whatever. And you can get your advanced readers from the kernel of the mailing list that you've started.
Yeah.
And I just did that. I made the landing page on MailChimp, and I just included that link in the emails that I sent out. And I was clear that I said, I'm never going to do this mass emailing again. So if you want to know, please click the link and sign up. So, so for your tasks this week, I did put a bonus, set up the landing page on MailChimp.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it's exciting to come up with an author website, and that's rad, and you'll need one anyway. So if that happens in the next couple of weeks, then cool. But all that's really needed is just that landing page on MailChimp and then emailing people the link.
Mhm.
Um, okay, request book blurber, somebody that will give you a quote for the book cover. Decide if you're going wide or Kindle Select.
So I'm definitely gonna go wide.
Okay. Are you going to purchase an ISBN?
I will, yes.
Okay. And you know how to do that through Bowker.com?
Nope.
Okay. I'll just put it on here.
Okay, thank you.
Purchase. So you can look purchase ISBN
Because I know I'm
one.
gonna probably need several, right? Because you do them for if you do hardcover, paperback, ebook,
Yeah,
and then I do plan on doing large print because having worked at the library, I see how beneficial large print is for so
yeah,
many people.
that's right.
So
I
I'm
should do
gonna,
that with this one too. I'm gonna do my own audiobook, so I was gonna do one for the audiobook, the ebook, paperback, hardcover, and now, yes, you're right, large print. I forgot about that. Okay. So I haven't done any um, current research on purchasing ISBNs. I have heard that somewhere I heard that if you like go through draft to digital or something like that, that the print that they would provide you an ISBN. I
yeah,
but my old research at any rate indicated that whoever provided the ISBN was the publisher of record.
yeah,
So if you got an ISBN from somebody else, it would just show that Drafted Digital was the publisher instead of you, even
mhm,
though they don't take any rights or anything like that. So I don't know, like there are less expensive options, I think. I just haven't personally done the research on that. And I like the idea of being the publisher of record, and I will probably continue to purchase ISBNs. They're
mhm.
not cheap. And so
Really.
because, yeah, no. So that's why you might do some research on what really happens if you just get free ISBNs through like Drafted Digital or whatever. Um, I wouldn't get an ISBN from Amazon because I think that's just the ASIN number, the ASIN number.
Yeah, and you can't use that one outside of Amazon.
Correct.
Yeah, that I do know. I know JP has gone through and they did a big thing to buy a ton of theirs upfront and they got a discount through doing that.
Yeah, you can buy like 100 for less money than it. I mean, yes, if you buy in bulk, then each individual one ends up being less money. But
Mhm.
can you afford to buy 100? I bought 10 when I did it, and so they're going to be, and I think I'll with this book and all its formats, I think I'll run out and we'll have to buy more. But yeah, so Bowker.com, you can just go and research.
Thanks. Yeah, that's something I definitely want to look into. I know I have to buy the copyright. Copyright's not too expensive though.
You don't even need it. So if you want it, you can get it, but it's not necessary. You can get a Library of Congress number, that's free.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to get it before you publish. It's not available afterwards.
Oh, okay. It's good to know.
So one book of mine, actually, yeah, I think one book has it and one doesn't because I didn't think to do it. Okay, anything else on your list here? Research determine keywords and categories. Book blurber, build street team for dark steampunk mystery, 1880s. Launch strategy, scandals, pin, social media posts, cover reveal on Instagram from the street team. Okay. So you've thought about some of these already.
Yes.
Consider a reader magnet. A
Yeah,
foil
I
sketchbook.
get to do that.
Okay.
Well, like I keep thinking of things and then I'm like, is that a reader magnet or is that something you would put at the end of the book to get more people to sign up?
I think that it's important to have both, and I
Yeah.
don't currently. So I am also in the process of, I've written the if you've read the book, if you've read my novel, then if you want the second epilogue, you can join my mailing list and I'll send you the second epilogue. I wanted to use that as the reader magnet too, but there is a spoiler in it. So if you haven't read, I mean, it seems as the author, I'm afraid my viewpoint is tainted, you know, like it seems kind of obvious to me. Like I wouldn't think that it was a spoiler, but just in case it is, I mean, it kind of is, I guess. Yeah. Dang it. So I need to write a reader magnet that's totally separate and different. So I just finished reading the book Newsletter Ninja 2 by Tammy Labrecque, and it's all about reader magnets.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I'll just write the title down so you
Yes, and
can
then I can maybe
read.
have Audible. I have Audible credits, so
Okay.
I have to use them up by the end of this month. Sorry, pickup trucks.
Tammy Labrecque. Labrecque. I think that's how you spell it.
It's fine. I'm sure Google will tell me eventually.
Reader magnet book. And so there's lists of things that you
Cool.
can use for reader magnets um and cookies. She calls them cookies. And so those are, she uses reader magnet and cookie kind of interchangeably. And like Chris Kane, she thinks that those are totally different things. And I can see why, like, because the cookies are the ones, those are just the presents to your mailing list, really, you know, like you write this thing, it's oh, if you write a side story that really has nothing to do with your book, but has the same characters, that can be a reader magnet.
Hmm.
Or like a prequel story, or like the villain prequel. How did the villain become, you know, why is he a bad guy? Like, what's his backstory? You can write that. And
Hmm.
that can be that could be a convertible cookie, she calls it. So that could be both. Because if they read Scandal's Pen and think, you know, if you want to know why villain number one became a villain, then click here and you can read this short story. So that would be enticing. And also, if they had never read your stuff before, it is something that is in the same world, it's the same time period ish. Um, and it would be like in your writing style. So it would be similar to what they would get if they buy your book. And
Yeah.
it wouldn't have any spoilers
Yeah.
because it took place before the book started. So that could be something that you could write, some kind of like villain prequel, or some um like the side story part might have a spoiler. So that I don't think you could use as a reader magnet, according to Tammy Labrecque's book. But if you wanted to write a convertible cookie, then you would only have to write one that could be used for both.
Hmm. I'd have to pick the correct villain because if I pick the wrong one, then it's a spoiler.
Okay.
Because it is like it is an organization,
Okay.
and you meet Lord Victor Polton within the first three chapters, and that's like the person who she is forced to be engaged with. And you're like, ooh, man, this guy throughout like the first start of it. And then you start realizing that he's really low on the totem pole and that there
Okay.
are all these people that she's figuring out above. So I'd have to like pick somebody.
Could you do Victor? Or would that be, I mean, if you just prequeled, I mean,
I
if
don't
you've
think people would want to read him. He's one of those like super slimy characters.
okay. Okay. So anyway, yeah, you
Yeah.
might think about something that you could do for a reader magnet. And that could be and and if you can come up with a convertible cookie, that's awesome because then you only have to write one. However, there is some, well, no, it would still be exclusive to your mailing list. Nobody
Mhm.
else would get it, even if they'd read the book,
Yeah.
then, you know, they would be on your mailing list to see what whatever the cookie was, whatever the thing was. Okay, yeah. So if you can write a convertible one so that it works for both. And I really wanted my epilogue to work for both, and it just won't. It's possible I could change something, but yeah, I think I just have to write another one. Dang it. Okay, so all right, we talked about the tasks that you're going to do in the next 2 weeks. before we
Mhm.
meet again.
Yes.
And then some bonus stuff and just some sort of floaty other things that you can think about whether you do them or not.
Mhm.
And those so I guess we will meet one more time, and then I can give you more tasks after that. After that, I guess I would need to know from you like what kind of assistance, because there are no like formal meetings anymore, but we can still like Slack or email or whatever to for accountability's sake. If you
Yeah.
want, I'm happy to do that.
Okay.
So yeah, so I can give you the whole publishing checklist, but that might be overwhelming. So I can just feed you little pieces at a
Cool.
time, but whatever works for you.
Mhm.
Um, is there anything else you want to talk about, or do you have any other questions? Or we still have like 15, 20, 12 minute, 15, 20 minutes, something like that. I'm looking at the clock. It's 12:43 over here. So
No, I think
15, 17 minutes.
I'm good. I just have to like try to figure out that reader magnet. My older sister says if I want some illustrations to ask her, she's very good at artwork. So
Hmm.
I'm thinking about that one. Working with family is always interesting.
Um, yes. However, it's nice that you could delegate it to her, and that would
Mhm.
be one thing off your plate. And in the meantime, you could offer that. Although, as a reader magnet, um, I mean, steampunk is fantasy, right?
Yeah, it's that mixture of fantasy and science. It's that weird bridge.
Okay. So, but I've heard that good um, newsletter reader magnet things for fantasy are like maps, or
Mhm.
and so like the sketchbook would be rad, or
Yeah.
um and so that would be great as the end one, like after they read, if they want to see Theo's sketchbook, for instance,
Mhm.
they can sign up on your mailing list. Do you think that that would be a good incentive to give up their email if they hadn't read? Like if they just organically showed up on your website? Who's Miss Catherine? What's this? I keep hearing about this, person. Would they want pictures?
Um, I mean, steampunk is a very visual, so it could be because
Mhm.
like we do like to see the well, what's the world look like? What kind of costumes are they? Because like steampunk, it does have such a broad range. And it would be cool, I think, because I've thought about asking her to do like, what does the city look like? Sketch it
Mhm.
out for me. It's a steampunk London. The only thing is it does not have a Big Ben. Like, just do not put a Big Ben in it, and we'll be good.
So maybe it would be good to delegate some sketches from your sister that you could put up as a reader magnet until you wrote something.
Yeah,
And then
that'd be
that could be like off your plate and you could focus on the manuscript.
cool.
And yeah, so that's something too. Do you have book funnel?
No.
The reason why I'm saying this is because if you I use book funnel, and there is even, I don't think it's a free option, but it's like super inexpensive, like $20 a year or something like that. Like it's a very inexpensive option. There's different tiers, and um, I pay $15 a month. That's the tier that I chose. But Book Funnel delivers those reader magnets. So
Oh,
you
okay,
don't
yeah.
have to. And so Story Origin does that too, and has a few other like bells and whistles. Um, so you can choose between, some people love Story Origin because they have other features that Book Funnel doesn't, but I think it's more expensive than Book Funnel, but I have not done that research myself. And
Okay.
since Book Funnel works for me, I just I'm not going to fix something that's not broken for me.
Yeah.
You want to be able to, so if your sister does these sketches, then, or, whatever reader magnet you have, you upload it to BookFunnel, and then basically you create another landing page in BookFunnel, and then it comes with, it'll have a little button that says, get my sketchbook, or get my photos, or get my book, or, whatever. You can make it say whatever you want it to say. And then when someone joins your mailing list through the MailChimp link that you send them, it'll send them directly to this, this BookFunnel landing page. And you can set BookFunnel to collect email addresses or not. And I don't, because they've already signed up on my mailing list, and that's how they got the BookFunnel link anyway. And they can deliver it to any, like if it's a picture, it's going to be a PDF. So that'll just go to their computer. But what I like about BookFunnel is that if you're sending like an EPUB file, I don't know what device they're going to read it on. And
Mhm.
so uploading it, side loading it, whatever, like it's going to be awkward and weird. And so BookFunnel takes care of all of the customer service around that and gives amazing directions for like any kind of device you can think of. So no matter what device they have, there will be instructions from BookFunnel on how to get it onto their device to read it. And any problems that a person would have, like it funnels all through BookFunnel. Like you don't have to mess with trying to explain to somebody how to upload something
Mhm.
to something. So yeah, I would check out BookFunnel and Story Origin. I think there's other options too, but those are just some, it's definitely a resource that I use all the time. I can't live without it as an author.
Nice, I'll check those out.
The
I love that
delivery system.
glass.
What's that?
I said I love that glass.
Mhm. My ex-boyfriend, like before Ali, I've been with Ali 10 years. So the boyfriend before Ali bought it at the dollar store.
Nice.
So it was $1.
That's even better.
All the rest broke. He had a whole set. All right. Well, cool. So yeah, I've got a list here I can send you. You had a lot of wins. That's awesome. And I think that you're gonna feel better and more empowered to fix those villain chapters that you
Yes,
were
so much
procrastinating on.
better now.
You don't really have to fix it at all. Just put it in his point of view for a few things. I don't know, because of the omniscient POV. I don't know how often you're switching back and forth, but it probably won't take very many.
No, it won't.
It will just be one or two like portions of a scene, I would imagine. I don't know. I
Mhm.
don't actually know how to, I mean, I've read omniscient point of view, like when I read Jane Austen,
Mhm.
or Jodi Picoult also has, and Louise Penny. Those are two authors, like modern day authors that write in an omniscient kind of thing. Um, and sometimes I can forget about it as I'm reading it because the story's so compelling. And other times it just confuses me so much and makes me angry and I can't finish the book.
I've heard that from people. I'm that way with like first person.
Okay,
Most
yeah.
first persons I hate. I hate
So
that
no
situation.
YA for you, because
A
predominantly
lot
it's
of
written in first person.
YA.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
that's kind of a, it's not a trope, but it's like a, it's not even an
Expectation.
industry standard, but kind of.
Yeah. But I did grow up reading like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Narnia.
But that's not first person.
They're
Hob
not.
Yeah,
They're all third person omniscient.
yeah, some people. So
And
if you are Tolkien, is it Tolkien or Tolkien?
I don't know. I think it just depends on what side of the river or the
Yeah.
pond you're on.
All right. Well, I'm excited. I'll work up this email and send it off to you, and I will see you in 2 weeks on, I think it's the 25th. I
Yes.
think. Okay. I'll see
Yeah.
you on the 25th, and I'll talk to you on Slack before then, I'm sure.
All right, go enjoy your retreat.
Yay. Yes, I'm gonna go do that. I'll
All
talk to
right.
you later.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.